Kayvon from Bells of Steel here. I'm going to be giving you a full overview of the Bells of Steel Blitz Manual Treadmill and why it's the best treadmill you can get. Let's get into it. So it's been a few years since I've done an overview of a manual treadmill. A little bit less hair, a little less pounds, and a little less muscle, I guess you could say too. And now I'm here 6 years later to give you an update on the Bells of Steel manual treadmill. And I'm here with my lovely model Wayne, who's normally behind the camera. Wayne being a trained sprinter, he's gonna be doing some demos for us today. So first thing I wanna get into is what's the difference between a manual treadmill and a conventional treadmill? And when I did this video 6 years ago, nobody had really seen or heard or really used a manual treadmill. They're pretty few and far between. There's a lot more on the market now, a lot more in commercial gyms. So there is a better understanding of what they do, but I'm gonna give you a quick breakdown. So the number one thing is, and when you can start walking, is that it's manual. And so it's got this ergonomic design that the belt is actually driven by you. So unlike a treadmill, conventional treadmill where the belt is just turning with like a motor and you're kind of just running on, I won't even say a hamster wheel. That's kind of inaccurate because the hamster is driving the wheel. You're just kind of like, it's moving for you. So you're missing out on a lot of muscle recruitment. It's not like a natural run, so this is much better to train on if you're trying to prepare for sports or a marathon or whatever. And the other huge benefit is that the maintenance on it is like absolutely minimal. So I used to sell treadmills, and I could tell you even the best quality ones that cost tens of thousands of dollars require regular maintenance because of all those, because of the engine on them and all the electronics, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas the manual treadmills, they just go themselves. They don't need to be plugged in. So that's kind of like the core difference of a manual treadmill versus a conventional treadmill. Next, I'm gonna get into what makes the Blitz so special. What I love about the Blitz when I was designing it and choosing all the features and benefits of it is that it is also has a strong magnetic resistance on it. So there's this little handle on the side that you can pump up and down and do like different levels of resistance, and it can give you like enough to do, you know, a decent sled push. You want to demo that, or you could keep it light for doing jogging, or you could get into it, you know, the different resistance levels for all kinds of different stuff. Just adds a lot of diversity to your workouts. The other thing I love about it is the curve on it is super ergonomic, and if you've used a lot of manual treadmills like I have, you'll find that some are quite difficult to start. Like you gotta like Fred Flintstone, you know, run on it. Whereas this one, Wayne will demo here, just a stop and a quick start on it. And this is another reason why manual treadmills are so much better than a conventional treadmill, is because you can do really great HIIT training sessions on it. You can do those full on sprints and then like immediately transition down into a walk. Whereas on a conventional treadmill, like they've got like programs for it on it, and you can like mess around, but I have not had a great experience to be able to achieve the same kind of HIIT results. A few other great features on it is, although it is a heavy unit, it's got these nice wheels on it. It's really actually easy to move around. Actually, Wayne, give me, if you could give a quick demo of just picking it up and moving it around. It's even got a little handlebar on there for you. This is rubber here, so it's a little stickier, but super easy to move. And then the slats on it, they're aluminum slats encased in rubber. So, you know, aluminum is typically on these treadmills, on the lower end ones, it'll be like a plastic with a rubber encasement on it, which you're gonna have problems with in the future, because, you know, aluminum's got that nice bend to it. It's also like a nicer feel to it, more kind of like takes your impact into it better. Again, that's another nice feature versus a conventional treadmill, is those stiff boards on the treadmills. I mean, they're designed to like take your impact and bounce, So they can be quite noisy with that like bounce when you're running on them and the board is flexing and causing that like loud bouncing. So it can be a bit quieter, nicer to train with if your kids are asleep at home or if you don't want to disturb your neighbors. And the monitor on it is slick. It's nothing to write home about, but it's perfect for what you need, looks good, functions well, lasts a long time. The last thing I want to get to you is what separates the Bells of Steel Blitz Manual Treadmill versus the competitors. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, when I first started selling manual treadmills, there was like 3 guys on the market. And now it seems like every Tom, Dick, and Harry has got one for sale with their own branding on it. When I posted the manual treadmill, people were a little concerned about that price point. So at the time of this video, it was $5,000. And there's competitors as low as $2,000. There's competitors as high as $10,000. But to compare them to the lower end ones, and when people say, oh, you know, those look the same, and that also has like a resistance function. And it's hard to, I'll use this analogy. So if you weren't familiar with human faces, you might think that I look just like Jason Momoa. And it might be kind of hard to explain why Jason Momoa isn't as good at looking as me if you were like untrained in what human faces looks like. So it is kind of hard to break down like exactly like our magnetic resistance versus their magnetic resistance, etc. But I'm gonna do the best job I can. Okay, so first off, the thing that I get a lot is like, oh, they also have a curve on it. It's a curved manual treadmill. And as I mentioned before, this curve is designed to give you a smoother start and stop. And that's something that you wouldn't really notice unless you got on them side by side, and you could try that out for yourself. Also the slats, they've got rubber encased slats too. Not all the lower end ones have specified, but the ones that do specify say that they're rubber encased plastic, not aluminum. So again, a downgrade. When it comes to the magnetic resistance, I've seen ones that say we've got magnetic resistance too, and some of them shared the pictures a little bit, some of them haven't. But you can see the pictures on our website. The magnetic resistance mechanism is like these gigantic magnets, super good quality and smooth, makes that transition and that resistance a lot better. So again, if they're not side by side of you using it, all I can do is describe it to you and tell you that for me, like I've been selling fitness equipment for 12 years, and a lot of these competitors selling at a very low price point, they kind of popped up in 2020 or shortly before, and so they've been around for 2-3 years. And I can get a curved treadmill that will price in line with those. That'll be priced at $2,000 or $2,500 or whatever. It's not as if I don't have the connections or the experience to source a treadmill at that price point. But I specifically chose this treadmill for a variety of reasons, but the factory that we work with to get these, they're in Taiwan. Taiwan is, although we do source from China and other countries, and China makes fantastic products to your spec, Taiwan has this particular factory has over a decade of making cardio products. And Taiwan kind of has a reputation for making really high-end, good quality cardio products. And I'll say that the quality part is like, it's kind of self-serving. It's like, yeah, I want to sell quality products, right? But I'm an e-commerce retailer. So unless you live in Indianapolis, Calgary, or Toronto, like we can't come and service your treadmill, right? You can't bring it in, return it, etc. So when I was deciding on this, I knew that once I sold these, that I never wanted somebody to have to deal with maintenance ever. And the reason I knew this, that I could count on these ones, is 5 years ago when Bells of Steel was a lot smaller and we didn't have kind of the cash flow we have today, thanks to customers like you, I ordered one of these from the factory that we work with in Taiwan. And they sent it to me and it was a fantastic sample. And I said, I'd like to carry these, but I'm too broke. I can barely, keep stock of kettlebells. So I sold it to my friend who owns a gym called King's Fitness here in Calgary. It's like a hardcore gym. As well as bodybuilding, as well as regular folks. And so there's been this variety of people from elite powerlifters to bodybuilders to just regular bodybuilders doing long state cardio, and regular folks using and beating the snot out of this thing every day for the last 5 years. And my friend who owns King's Fitness has not ever had to ask me for one single part in those 5 years. So when I decided to finally launch a treadmill like this, I knew that it had to be this one, because there was no room for error. again, I've been around for 12 years. I'm not thinking about, you know, when I bring out a new product, particularly the cardio products, because they are more labor intensive to maintain, I'm not thinking about, oh, like I could turn a quick profit, you know, they're kind of trendy right now, let's get some out, let's just flip them or whatever. I'm thinking about what the potential impact of that is for the next 12 years of business. Is, you know, selling a inferior product that looks and maybe functions the same and not being able to warranty it properly for years to come, what is that going to mean for my reputation? And, you know, it's been 12 years, it's going to be 12 more, hopefully. And so that's going into my thought process. So again, it's hard to describe and show exactly why it is unless I had them side by side and tore them part by part out. And even then, it can be a little bit hard to say. But when you're looking at those manual treadmills, you know, focus on that. Rubber encased aluminum. It's got these, you know, gigantic magnetic resistance on it. You know, it's made in, and again, not to harp on China, we get great products out of China, but is it made out of Taiwan or out of China? And when it's a $5,000, you know, cardio product, it's nice to have that peace of mind that it's coming from a factory with over a decade of experience. And from me with over a decade of experience that, you know, in 5 years, if you've got a problem with your treadmill, we're gonna be able to support you. So that's the Bells of Steel Blitz Manual Treadmill. You're gonna love it, and let the gains begin. Hey folks, Kayvon here, founder of Bells of Steel. I hope you loved that video. Be sure to smash that like button and leave a comment below. And if you want any of the awesome home gym equipment you saw in this video, be sure to follow the links in the description and let the gains begin.